Hey, it's Rich. Welcome back. I just finished my 31st week on Wegovy. I had my 32nd shot just a few minutes ago. So far, so great. Everything's going wonderfully. I've had a really good amount of success losing weight, and I've had no side effects. I'm still at the lowest dose, 0.25. It's everything I could hope for so far. Last week, I told you I was going to go to the doctor and check in. And when you're on a weight loss drug like Wegovy or Ozempic or any of the other ones, you have to check in with your doctor on a regular basis. If nothing else, they want to make sure that you're continue to lose weight, that they don't need to make adjustments with your dosage, or even are you having trouble getting the drug, right? That's part of their help, is to help you identify strategies on if one pharmacy doesn't have it, how do you get it, things like that. So over the course of the last 7 months since I've been taking it, I've been dealing primarily with a pharmacist at the clinic. So she works with my doctor, and so we check in with her on a monthly basis, and I would tell her what my weight loss was and how I'm feeling, if I'm having side effects, and we talk about dosages, and we both agreed that I should just stay at my current dose. She said I can do what I want, but there's really no imperative to change, and if I wanted to stay at the lowest dose, great. The only concern was what my insurance company might do, that I'm not progressing to a higher dosage, and that typically isn't the success story that people have, that they keep increasing the dosage until they can't tolerate it anymore, and then they have good success after that. I'm not following that model. So she did express some concern that the insurance company might not like that and might think that it's not working. We'll see. We'll see if that comes to pass or not. But this past week, or yesterday, I had to go into my doctor, my family practitioner, to have a chat, just show how it's going, and she also wanted to take blood work, because every so often they want to take blood work to see how things are going too, make sure that everything that I can't tell is going well is still going well. So we did that too. And as you walk into my clinic, there is a locked door to a hallway to the different rooms that people are able to see the doctor, the treatment rooms. And so right at the beginning of that locked hallway, once you're outside of or away from the public, there's a scale for you to hop on. And I've never had trouble stepping on that scale. I know some people are very apprehensive, they're resistive, they don't want to, but I figure if I'm dealing with my doctor, she needs to know how much I weigh, and it's not a matter of my fat, right? There are some people that are a little overweight, but they can wear layered clothing, they can wear bulky sweaters, and you're not quite sure, are they big, or is that just the clothing, right? And they do a good job camouflaging their weight. Well, there's no camouflage when you get to my size, right? So I'm Fatty McFatty, and that's all there is to it. The only difference is that after losing so much weight, I'm not the supersized Fatty McFatty anymore. I'm just the regular sized Fatty McFatty. So, and as we walked back, she took the weight, and then she took all the other the assistant took all the technician took all the vital signs, and your temperature and your respirations and your blood pressure, and she was putting all the stuff in, and then she saw the weight loss amount, and you could see she was looking at it thinking, did she transpose a number? She was thinking about it for a second, and then I think I can't quite see what she was doing. I think she looked at some of the notes from the pharmacist over the past several months and saw that it's all consistent with what I was telling the pharmacist on my weight loss, because the pharmacist visit was all virtual. This was actually in person. So then she looked at me, she says, "You've lost a lot of weight." And then she was all smiles, big smiles from that moment on. She was very pleasant, very polite, very nice. Before that, she was smiling in ear to ear after that. And then when the doctor came in, she was all smiles, right? It's smiles everywhere. And I think they have a right to take some satisfaction, some credit for what I've been through, what I'm going through, and how I'm doing so far, because my doctor was the one who a couple years ago, I told you about the bariatric surgery, thinking about doing that. She recommended, well, why don't you go talk to him, right? It doesn't hurt to talk, doesn't hurt to find out. And maybe you want to do it, maybe you don't, but it seems like you're interested in making a change in your life. Let's go talk to him. Why don't you talk to him? Well, and as you may remember, I talked to them, and I was too fat for the bariatric surgery. I didn't know that was a thing, but I was too fat. I had to lose weight just to do it. And then I found out that it's a really dramatic surgery. Oh my goodness, is it dramatic? They change, they rewrite a lot of stuff inside, and you have to, after you have it done, you have to exercise and you have to eat right and you have to watch what you're doing so you don't gain it back. And I thought, well, eating right and exercising, isn't that what you do to lose weight in the first place? Why are you doing the bariatric surgery? And then I talked to a buddy at work, and his family member had the surgery and then ultimately was gaining it all back. And that was the kind of the nail in the coffin on whether I was going to do bariatric surgery. Is like, this isn't the magic bullet. It isn't simple, and it's really dramatic, and probably for someone like me, not very effective, or not as effective. So I decided against that, and I just kind of gave up, and I gained back all the weight that I had lost trying to get to the right size for bariatric surgery, and plus. And then I saw the 60 Minutes episode that I think I told you about, which talked about Ozempic or Wegovy or one of the semaglutide drugs that people were taking, and they were explaining that, hey, this is something new. This is kind of a miracle drug that allows you to feel full, allows you to make good decisions, and so then my doctor talked to me about that, because it was after that I saw her. My doctor talked to me about taking the drug, and I didn't know if I wanted to take it or not. I wasn't sure yet. I hadn't made up my mind, and if she had come on too strong, I would have said no. So she knew how to talk to me about it, give me enough information to allow it to be my decision. And the way we left it was, well, I'll give you a referral, and if you want to call, great. If you don't, I'll see you in 6 months or a year, or next time we see you, probably 6 months, and we'll talk then, right? No pressures type thing. So I ended up calling. I ended up watching a lot of YouTube videos about it, and thought, this sounds more like what would work for me. And I am so glad I did. And I think a large part of it was the medical advice I got was strong. It was, but it was also directed at me. It was put in a way that I could process it, that I felt I was making a decision based on good medical advice instead of them trying to browbeat me into something. That's just me. I don't know how you act, but I know if someone tells me to do something and they're really adamant about it, pretty guaranteed I'm not going to do it. So that's how I act, and I think there's other people like me in the world that do the same thing. So I do want to thank my doctor. I do want to thank the medical personnel at my clinics that were handled it in a really nice approach that allowed me to make the decision, and still allow me to make decisions, right, based on how I'm feeling, how I'm doing, and how everything's going. Anyhow, I was as I was going into the doctor's office, there was a little boy there, and he had swallowed 10 quarters. And I thought, oh, I wonder if he should be here or if he should be someplace else, maybe the emergency room. And on my way out, I asked the receptionist, I said, how's that little boy doing? And the receptionist said, no change yet. It's funny. I'm doing all this weight loss, and I'm going to a family practitioner, a general practitioner, not a specialist. And I think the difference between the general practitioner and a specialist is a general practitioner treats you for what you have, and the specialist thinks you have what they treat. All right, you didn't come to hear about my comedy stylings this week. You came to find out how I did. I lost another 5 pounds this week. That brings me down to a total of 95 pounds down. I'm not giving it back. I'll see you next week.